Hi, I'm Carleen Jackson, the CEO of Cloud9 Insight. Today we're going to talk about how you can prepare for your CRM project requirements. This is quite an important first step in your CRM journey. We recommend that in advance of Cloud9 coming to meet with you to discuss your CRM requirements, that you get together as a team and plan to maximize the value of that session as much as possible. We often say to clients that CRM is a journey of business transformation for your organization, which has 4 key components. So one is, first of all, for you to consider your processes, and we'll talk a little bit more about how you can prepare for that aspect. Culture is the other area, so perhaps there are additional changes that you need to make in your organization to achieve your target culture to meet your strategic goals. For some organizations that might be becoming more customer centric, and therefore you might want to think about things like training or your recruitment strategy to make sure that you're recruiting the right people to put customers at the heart of your business. Technology is obviously another important aspect, and that's really where CRM comes in, and it's really an enabler of the other areas of the business, which leads us to reporting. For a lot of organizations, they haven't been able to do reporting to date in real time. They've just been using spreadsheets. So we recommend that you give a lot of thought to how reporting can support you in your strategic direction in the future. So we put together 7 top tips to make the most of your requirements gathering session. So prior to Cloud9 coming and meeting with you, we recommend that you get together as a team and you look at our pre-project questionnaire, which you'll find a copy of on our website, or just give us a call and we'll send it through to you. It's a great way of bringing you all as a team together to understand your shared vision and how CRM can support your strategic goals. We recommend that you put together a roadmap of different phases to address your requirements, with a phase 1 being as small as possible to address the sort of critical needs of your business. And this will give you a chance as a team to learn a little bit more about CRM, which is no doubt will affect the scope of a phase 2 and phase 3, hopefully to stretch your imagination and expectations, because it's a very flexible solution to deliver you greater value and maturity in later phases. The next thing to do is to think about sort of timeframes for your phases, particularly for the end of a phase 1, what would work for your business, and also to sort of think about the sort of budgets as well that would make sense for phase 1 to ensure there's a good return on investment. And so once you've completed as a team the pre-project questionnaire, send it back to Cloud9, and this will help us understand the sort of critical sort of strategic setting within which your project is looking to support your business going forward. The next thing we encourage you to think about is roles and stakeholders for your project. With Dynamic, it's possible to set up permissions for different role types. For example, you might have a sales manager and a sales user. In CRM, one person can have maybe many roles, but depending on the roles, they can see or undertake different things. So somebody might be able to have different options to be able to see a particular field or area of CRM, or to be able to edit something. So it's quite important to sort of give that some thought. Having said all of that, our recommendation is that you would have a starting point of everybody sees everything, because for many organizations that's the sort of joy of CRM, that sort of single view shared across the business. But for some organizations, they might like to sort of lock down some sort of areas. For example, not allowing salespeople to assign opportunities to themselves. Maybe that might be just the sales manager who can reassign sales opportunities to another salesperson. The other thing that's quite important when thinking about the sort of key stakeholders is don't forget about the customer. We suggest that whoever might be new in your business, you ask them to sort of think about your sort of what you're doing as a business and how can this customer benefit from that investment that you're making. CRM is really about sort of supporting and enabling your processes to be as super efficient to support your business growth as possible. Our consultants often joke that if only customers knew that CRM implemented on broken processes won't result in necessarily significant benefits unless the processes are working in the first place. We find organizations that have been going for 5 or more years, 10, even 20, 40 years sometimes, their processes have evolved over a period of time. So deploying a new CRM is a great opportunity to sort of revisit the processes that you have, see where there's potentially sticky tape there that has been addressing particular issues that you have with technology or processes in the past. For example, printing something out to be signed and given to another department. What we recommend that you do as a team is that you get some sticky notes and put them up on the wall to identify the key stages that you can see there as an example: qualify, nurture, develop, close and execute, that you might have in a particular process that you're looking for CRM to support, and you might have a number of processes, so you can do this for each one. And then once you've decided what are the key stages of the process, then you can identify what are the different steps that need to happen within each of these stages. And then if you stand back and look at that, it's a great opportunity to review how could we do it better, sort of streamline it, what could we automate, and lastly but most importantly is to review that question: do each of these stages and all of these steps add value to the customer journey and to the customer experience? And if not, what can you do to sort of maybe take those out of the process to eliminate things and streamline it, and look at it from a user experience perspective as well. And also where you've got different department silos, there's often opportunities for improving the sort of continuity of that customer journey by streamlining how you work together as a team. So once you've thought about the processes, document that. It could be that you do use post-it notes to put that up and then take a photo, and that would be helpful to sort of send it to us either in advance or for us to revisit to accelerate that requirements gathering session, so we can deploy CRM to fully meet your processes that they have in mind. The next thing to do is to think about reporting. For a lot of organizations that we work with, they haven't got access to real-time reporting at the current time, and potentially if they do, it might be through the use of a very skilled database developer who can help them with putting together reports. With Dynamics, the great news is that reporting will be at your fingertips real time, not just for you as a manager, but for all of your users too, to help them decide what's the next best action and to really motivate and drive their behavior to be more successful as a business. However, what's really important is actually making sure you're reporting and measuring the right things, because otherwise you might accidentally drive the wrong behavior. For example, are you measuring the numbers of calls that a salesperson is making versus the quality and the sort of results and opportunity closed, so that they will drive different behaviors in your organization. So it's important to consider your strategic goals overall, your KPIs for your business and your industry as a whole, and really look to think about, as a business going forward, if you had a magic wand that you can use to sort of give you insight into your business and your business performance, what would those sort of questions be, and how might you like to interrogate the data that you have in your business to ensure that you're using that insight more effectively to make the right decisions in your business. The other side of this about reporting is having customer insight into your business to do more effective marketing, because more and more customers are getting spammed, and it's really important to make sure that the communications that you're sending to your customers are based on relevant insight and timely events sort of driven marketing, to make sure that they're only receiving communication that's relevant to them in a timely manner in order for them to take appropriate action and drive the right behavior. So really give some thought about reporting, and if you have any example reports that you would like the system to support in the future, it's great to bring those along to the requirements, or if you like, send them to us in advance as well, because it really helps us sort of define the data model to ensure that you get that future reporting. If you haven't captured that data in the first place, then certainly the reporting won't be possible longer term. The other benefit of reporting is that it really identifies where there's gap of data in your system. There's nothing better than looking at a pipeline forecast of opportunities due to close, and you can see there that maybe there's a bunch of them that are in the past. It gives you a great opportunity as a sales manager to be talking to your team and saying, well, what about all these ones that have no close dates or have a close date in the past? That means the sort of CRM is not up to date, and perhaps it is an indicator of certain opportunities being a bit behind from where they should be. So it's really helpful in driving user adoption of CRM to have the right reports in place and making sure that you're using those in your day-to-day meetings with your team to ensure CRM is up to date and driving the right behavior. For some organizations, there are some additional record types that are quite important to build into CRM. So, for example, an organization that runs training courses, perhaps they might need to add in a new record type called training courses. Locations might be another one, etc., etc. So, Dynamics CRM is incredibly flexible to add in record types that are very relevant for your business to make sure you're getting the reporting that you need. So if possible, but it's definitely not critical, it's probably helpful as a team to think about what are the different types of data that you hold in your business. And some examples are accounts, contacts, opportunities, users. We've got contract here, job, project might be another word for that. So just think about what are the different record types, and then within that possibly think about what are the different fields that might be on that. So the account as an example, it will be the client name, and possibly their address and maybe the client types and maybe their industry or SIC code or things like that. With the opportunity, the information you'll capture might be the revenue, the close date, etc. So it's quite helpful to build together a picture of the different record types that are relevant to your business to make sure that for phase one that all of the relevant records types are there. The other thing that you'll see is the sort of arrows between them. So for some records there's a relationship between the different record types, and it's very important to, in order to get the drill down reporting that you need, that the relationship between all the records is set up, because Dynamics after all is a relational database, so hopefully it will give you a lot more flexibility in terms of how you interrogate your data than maybe you can at the moment in a flat structure like an Excel spreadsheet. But if all of this is potentially too advanced, then don't worry too much about it. It's something that we naturally do, whether it's sort of directly or in a more stealth way during the requirements workshop, to make sure that the data model that's right for your business is set up in the first place. But for some organizations, they find it helpful to think about this in advance. The next and possibly one of the most important things to think about is training. So the training approach that we recommend is really based on the culture of your business and what's right for you. So if you have people all over the UK or in foreign countries, maybe the training that you require might be sort of web-based, for example. But for the majority of our customers, we undertake user-based training and sometimes after a period of time some more admin-based training. We always recommend that training should be role-based. For some organizations it's helpful to organize train the trainer training, because that way the trainers can incorporate more of the compliance and processes around your business into the training, so it's not just product training but potentially more business transformation related training. The other things that can be done as part of the training is we could make recordings or sort of quick guides that you can have on your desk. So there's quite a few different things that will be important to ensure good user adoption and success with Dynamics CRM. The good news is that we also offer a platinum support package which gives unlimited access to training, including weekly webinars, and that's for both users and admin people, and that hopefully sparks some ideas with clients of aspects of the solution they didn't know were sort of there, to just encourage them to get the most out of CRM. But also it includes the option for users to set up one-to-one training to ensure that they're using CRM to the best advantage for how they like to work in their role. And when you take out a platinum support package, this training is unlimited and you can just request that at any suitable time for an unlimited number of hours every month, and hopefully that will really drive adoption and maturity of CRM in your business. The next thing to think about is data. For most organizations, they look to incorporate legacy data from a legacy CRM potentially, maybe data that's sitting in spreadsheets or in their Outlook, wherever the data may be. So it's important to sort of think about what data do you have and what data do you require to be imported or migrated across to CRM. It's helpful if you have a legacy CRM, to provide some screenshots of the example data that you'll be looking to move across, and if you have any sample data that's held in spreadsheets, it's good to have a sense of copy of that, some sample data. And part of the benefits of this for Cloud9 is one is to sort of look at the quality of the data to see maybe there's been some required fields in the past in the legacy system, so you have a lot of full stops or poor data that might need to be weeded out. And it's also good for us to start to think about sort of data model and how that data is structured, because typically in legacy CRMs they weren't necessarily relational databases, and so we need to sort of break that data up and design a future data model that's going to be more flexible for your future reporting needs. Data import and data migration is an area that's usually very much underestimated by our clients, and we'd encourage you to ensure that there's sufficient resources within your team to support this aspect of the project, to ensure that data is as clean as possible in advance of any data import, because now is the best time to sort of address any issues that you might have and give some thought as to what data you would like to be imported. There's some clients who start afresh, for others doing marketing this isn't a choice, so it's really identifying what strategies can you have to address any data cleansing issues that you might have, and we're obviously there to support you and give you advice on all of this, but it's really helpful for clients to think in advance, what data do I have and what were my data import or data migration needs at this time. So that's all we plan to cover for today. Thank you very much for your time. If you need more help with planning for your requirements, do give us a call. follow us on any of the following social media links. We look forward to supporting you with the deployment of your Dynamics 365.